Welcome to DeFi Crypto Today. Our topic today is TraderJoe and pools where we can use Wonderland tokens, Olympus DAO tokens, and Abracadabra tokens. All right, so as we can see, we've got a lot of pools on, there's like 100 pages of pools on TraderJoe. Some are worth the trouble and some less so, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's have a look at what we have here and what's important to notice. First, you need to check that there is liquidity. Obviously, the bigger the number here, the easier it is to swap tokens, okay? And you don't get like a huge discrepancy in the price, okay? You don't lose when you trade as much. Here, this is the volume, so how many dollars worth of tokens are traded on this pool alone. And these are the fees that are collected by that single pool. So this pool is pretty active. It's 157,000, I think, dollars that the whole pool generates. Okay, and that gives you an APR of 35%. So roughly, this divided by this gives you this, roughly, for APR, roughly. So 35% is pretty good. You got also other pools here, like the AVAX TIME token, which relates to Wonderland, as we know. Gives you even better with 52% and so on. Now, you have to understand the risks here, because there's several risks. There's a protocol risk. Okay, we never know if TraderJoe is going to get hacked or anything. That's common to every DeFi protocol. TraderJoe has been audited, so you know it should be all right. It's a pretty popular place. It's got at least 4 or 5 trillion, not trillion, what am I saying, $1 billion on this. And the other thing you need to consider is that there's going to be some impermanent loss from time to time. So impermanent loss means that because of price fluctuations, some tokens will go up, other tokens will go down. So for instance, you have the AVAX TIME token. Maybe when the AVAX token is going to go up in value while the TIME token is going to go down in value. And that's going to create impermanent loss because of the rebalancing. The difference between holding the tokens separately in your wallet and in the liquidity pool, okay, is that impermanent loss. So the total value of the LP token pair, if it goes down compared to holding the two tokens separately in your wallet, that's called impermanent loss. All right, so let's see as it relates to Wonderland and so on. So they have time pools. And as you can see, some are bigger than others, and let's put them in the other way. All right, so we go by liquidity. These two pools are very popular. There's a ton of money in there. So they generate a lot of fees. The more you have in here, the more fees you're going to get here. And the more the APR is going to grow up, okay? Because the APR is directly related to the fees generated. And the fees are somewhat related to the size of the pool, but more in line with the volume, the daily volume that is traded on that pool. So if there's a ton of trading here, even if the pool might be smaller, you're going to get a lot more fees because the fees are generated by trading. There's a small percentage that TraderJoe takes, okay, for each transaction. I believe it's 0.3%, something like that. And they give back to the pool 0.25%, something like that, okay. You would have to check the documentation exactly, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So you want a pool that generates a lot of cash. Otherwise, your APR is going to be tiny. So these pools are pretty popular, the first two. This one is somewhat okay. It still gives a good APR. So despite its smaller size, the percentage of revenues generated is pretty good. And for the rest, well, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. There's no liquidity at all in these things. I mean, $21, the hell is that? I mean, it's too bad it's the OHM time token, but nobody wants to trade that pair. That's what that means. All right. Now, the MIM time token I find interesting, and that's the one we're going to see a little bit more today. And we're going to see if it's worth our time and to put money in there. I like it more because of the fact that there's going to be a little bit less impermanent loss, because we're trading against a stable coin. The MIM coin is a stable coin. However, you're going to see that when you use this, even when the price of time goes up, you lose some time tokens. And also, let's not forget that time is not stake. We don't have stake tokens available for Wonderland on this thing. On the other hand, if we were to do, we're going to check the OHM tokens, but the OHM tokens on TraderJoe are wrapped and staked. There's no wrapped or staked time or memo. If we search for memo, we don't get, there is one here, but there's nothing in it. There's no liquidity. So these are useless. Okay, so don't put your money in memo and dream, whatever dream is. Okay, that doesn't look very good. That there's only $98 in that pool. It's generating nothing. Nobody's trading this thing. Okay, it's not a popular pair at all. So don't waste your time by putting your memo in here. Okay, and this it's safe moon. It's like nothing to do with memo. Okay, so there's no staked Wonderland token. So there's no memo available at the moment in liquidity pairs on TraderJoe. So we forget about that, but we can have a look at OHM. Well, let's write the full thing so we eliminate the crap. Wrapped staked OHM. Okay, so we have several wrapped staked OHM pools. We have the MIM wrapped staked OHM, or the MIM Wisdom, and that's okay in terms of size. Volume's a bit, yeah, volume is okay as well. The first two are okay. I wouldn't use the other ones. It's like nothing in there. I don't know why nobody wants to trade the Wisdom AVAX. That would be a good pair, I would think, but there's not a lot of trading going on here. But maybe that's going to change. Maybe a lot of people will want to trade from swap AVAX to Wisdom and back and forth. So there's a lot of that. Then the size of that pool might grow. Anyway, so at the moment, these would be worth considering. There's also Spell, which is very interesting these days because it's going to the moon. Okay, if you haven't looked at the chart for the price of Spell, Spell is the governance token on Abracadabra, which is run by the same family as Wonderland and Popsicle. So the Spell token has been doing pretty well. So you have AVAX Spell, which is a pretty good pool, and you also have Time Spell, which is not as great, but you know, medium in terms of size for TraderJoe. It's not big at all, but from TraderJoe it's not too bad. Anyway, so it gives you an idea. So the first one is definitely worth considering. The second one, if you're really in a good mood. All right. So, and let's check MIM since we're here. All right. So, yeah, MIM TIME, MIM ADEX, MIM WSOHM, and MIMATIC is also a stable coin, but it's not from Abracadabra. And you have this, but these are too small. So stick to the big ones, those that have, over $1 million worth of liquidity. It should be okay. And make sure that there's some trading volume as well, so that they generate fees, because that's what you want to collect. You want to collect those fees. Okay, so enough about the listings. Let's look at an actual pair that I did for experimental purposes. So I bought some MIM TIME LP pair, and right now I have 262.17 MIMs and 0.03330 time token. Okay, now I'm going to show you what happened to these values. Alright, so this is right now. This is at the moment I deposited the tokens. So 243 here and 0.3595. So you notice that this value here is a lot greater when I deposited than it is now. On the other hand, the MIM value is a lot smaller than it is now. What happened? Okay, so to make sure you understand this, because it works with all liquidity pools. Okay. Most pools will have only 2 tokens, but some pools, like if you go on Balancer, for instance, which is a very good protocol, if you want to put cash there, tokens there, and you can bet that it's probably very safe because it's audited to the wazoo. And it's very strong. They have a very strong team there. It's a very, very good protocol. So those guys are balancers. They can have like 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 tokens in one pool. The advantage of that is that it's like having a portfolio, and it rebalances automatically every few seconds. Okay, so you're not going to have like one token that takes over, and now your risk is only on that token. So let's say you had Bitcoin, you had Ethereum, you had USDT, and then you had Balancer token, and then you had like a bunch of other tokens. Okay, and suddenly Bitcoin is shooting to the moon, and it takes over all the value, right? Because it grows so fast that now you started, let's say, with 20% Bitcoin, and now your portfolio is 50% Bitcoin. It might sound good, but if you don't rebalance, your risk is all on that Bitcoin. If Bitcoin crashes tomorrow, the value of your portfolio drops dramatically. People that manage funds, like investment funds and pension funds and so on and so forth, they don't want that. They don't want to have one asset that takes over the whole portfolio, because now they're at the mercy of that asset. And that's good portfolio management practice. You should not put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, and that's what the rebalancing is about. Okay, so this is what's happening here. Time went up in value during the time I invested. I invested only for 2 days, 2.5 days. Okay, so the time token went up in value a lot, and the program rebalanced the two sides. Okay, so you invest half of the value in time and the other half in MIM. If the value of time goes up too much, it's out of balance. So the program sells some time and buys some MIMs. It wants to reach an equilibrium again. And if the value of time goes down, okay, it's going to sell some MIMs and buy more time to rebalance, right? So that's what happened here. So essentially, I gained about what, almost $20 worth of MIMs. And although I lost some time token, that side also gained $20. So total, I gained probably around $39 or $40 on this during those 2 days. I got lucky for that. Is that a good thing? Because you have to remember, time is not state. It's not earning rebases on Wonderland. And if we take a look at Wonderland at the moment, well, the APY is like 66%, 66,000%. That's a lot. Okay. Now, let's say originally the value I had was, okay, let's say we double this value so that we know how much my original investment was. Okay, so let's compare how much money I made here compared to how much money I would have made if I had staked my tokens here on Wonderland. So let's do that. So right now we have 343.54. I'm not going to bother with the small decimals. So 343.54. Go to the calculator. Sorry. It's 243, no? 243.54 times 2, because each side is supposed to be balanced, okay? Alright, so my original investment was around $487, give or take, okay? Maybe slightly more because the MIM token sometimes is a little bit over $1, but anyway, it gives you a rough idea. Now, if I had this money, so we have 487, right? And if I deposited 487 on this, how much would I have made? It's going to be approximate, okay? Because I'm not sure if we can get the price for 2 days ago. Let's have a look. So the price of time, well, actually we don't need to check the price. It's going to work without it. You'll see what I mean. So we would have had basically, if I invested all this value in time, it would be double this value. So that's what we're going to use to calculate today. All right, so let's calculate using the same formula that I showed you in the Wonderland APY calculation video. The link is below for those that don't remember or didn't watch the video. Watch it. It shows you very easily how to do this. I'm going to do it here, so it's the same thing. So we take the rebase or reward yield. Okay, we get 3 rewards a day every 8 hours. So we go here. We delete this. We don't need it right now. We put the value. Shucks, it doesn't take the copy. 0.596. Okay. All right. So 0.59. Well, what am I writing? 596. Okay. So that's the rate that Wonderland is giving every 8 hours right now. Okay. So we're going to divide this by 100. We're going to add 1. And we're going to use, where is it? The XY key. So we can use exponents. So I invested 2 days ago. There are 3 rebases per day. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, so we click on this and right? 6. So we have 6 for the exponent here equals this. All right. So if I the value that I have, okay, basically if I take this and I take how many tokens I had originally times 2, we're going to get how many tokens I would have today if I had invested on Wonderland instead of TraderJoe, right? So we take this, and what value did we have? We had 0.3595. So let's do that. Go to the calculator again. We multiply this by, okay, 0.03595, right? Same value we had, right? Now we need to multiply this by 2 because we're talking about a liquidity pair. If I don't buy the MIMs and I invest all the value as time tokens and I stake them on Wonderland, okay? Basically, I'm taking the same amount as an investment, and instead of putting that amount on TraderJoe and splitting it between time and MIM, here I'm keeping it all as time, sorry, and I'm staking it on Wonderland. And so how much are we going to get? So multiply again by 2, so for the two sides of the liquidity pair equal this. So I would get 0.07459 token total at the end. Okay? How much are they worth? So multiply this by the current price, which is 7866.58. So multiply by 7856. What did I say? 58? Yes, 786658. Sorry, 78. Let's go back. 7866.58. All right, so now we've got the right value. And all right, so my investment, starting with the same investment, if I had invested the same amount on Wonderland, I would have $587 worth of memos or stake time on Wonderland. All right. Now, if we compare that to this here, so we take 26217 multiplied by 2. Okay. So we clear this. 262.17. 262.17 times 2. 524. So as we can see, I lost 60 bucks. Roughly, give or take. Okay? So it would have been more profitable for me to deposit that amount on Wonderland. Okay? I would have made about $60 extra. Okay? So consider these factors before you invest. Because also, like, of course I'm supposed to gain 35% APR, it's not per day, right? Basically, I would get this. How much value would I get? I would get this, and this is the percentage of this that I would get per day. Okay, so it's not a large amount because it's a very tiny fraction of the pool. Okay, all right. So, hope this is clear. I know there's a lot of computations here, but because the crazy APY here is so huge on Wonderland, very often it is probably going to be more profitable to stake your tokens on Wonderland than depositing them in liquidity pools. Okay, So that's what I wanted to show you today. There are many pools, okay, that you could use. All right, it's all these things here. I mean, the MIM AVAX pool is really good, okay, 105%, right? And it's quite liquid and it's generating a lot of fees. And you're not losing any interest much at all here because AVAX doesn't earn interest by itself and MIM doesn't earn interest by itself. You could always deposit your AVAX somewhere, but you're not going to get 66,000%. But here you can get 105% on your liquidity pair, all right? So if you can stake your time and make more money, then it's probably better for you to stake your time. And so it becomes memo tokens and you earn more memo tokens, okay? Even for a couple of days, it shows a big difference because the rates are so huge, okay? All right. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you this, my little experiment, what happened to it, what happened to my investment. So I lost about 60 bucks. I made money on my investment, but I could have made even 60 bucks more. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. All right, so if you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. The algorithm will send me more people on my channel if you like and subscribe. If you don't, nobody's going to watch this video. Don't forget to ring the bell to know when I'm publishing my next video. Don't forget to download the free book. It's free. And yes, the download link works. A lot of people say, oh, downloading it. It works. I test it every freaking day. Okay, if it didn't work, I'd fix it. But anyway, if you have trouble downloading it, let me know on my Twitter. DM me on Twitter. Okay. The link is below. You click the link to all my official links, and then you can find my Twitter and can DM me there and tell me, I can download the book. And I'll send you the book, okay, by email. All right. So the book can be downloaded. Just read what it says on the screen. It's a big button like this. Big. It's big like this. It says download the free book here. Okay? Now, if you don't like to do this, because you don't like free things, give Jeff Bezos $5.99 on Amazon, and Jeff will generously give me $1 later. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.